So as it's been stated, my name is Akilé Anai, and I am the chair for the Justice for the 3 Drowned Black Girls campaign. And I mean, it has been a complete honor bestowed upon me to really carry out this campaign, and that it's not to be taken lightly at all that Kundè has entrusted, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement and the African People's Socialist Party to carry this campaign to victory. And I take my job very seriously. Uhuru. So this presentation that should be coming up real soon just reviews the work that we've done in 2016 and what's to look forward to in 2017. And I just want to say, in reference to the importance of these manuals, when I first became the chair, I didn't know what that meant. And I was struggling in the beginning to recreate what a committee looks like. And, that's just, well, I don't need to do that because it's already been done. And applying what has been laid out to what this campaign needs. And that is where I needed to go. And once I got my hands on this manual, there was no way anybody could stop me. So I just want to say that, emphasize the importance of these manuals. And if we're ready, we can go. All right, so this campaign came as a result of the March 31st, 2016 murder of 15-year-olds Lanaya Miller, Ashanti Butler, and 16-year-old Dominique Battle by Pinellas County Sheriff's Department after they were illegally chased and corralled into a pond and left there to drown. The chase was reported to have begun after the girls' car was spotted driving without headlights on. However, their own footage served to contradict them, as the girls' headlights were on. Then Deputy Howard Skaggs, head of the Pinellas County DUI Task Force, pursued the girls in an unmarked vehicle. He was ordered not to chase the girls, yet he did so at an alarming 93 miles per hour and then lied and said he hadn't been chasing the girls. He chased those girls down a winding path that he was very familiar with. In fact, he used that pathway to do stakeouts all the time to catch other Africans. And so he knew that there was no escape option for these girls. And he knew that it was a dead end and that those girls would end up in that pond. The girls' car landed 15 feet away from the pond shore. And 15 feet away from them, 17 deputies watched as the car went under. There was no urgency to save them, as the girls were heard screaming for their lives. The side callously conversed, saying things like, "Do you hear that? I thought I heard screaming." To which the other responds, after the car is completely submerged, "Not anymore. They're done, dude. They're effing done." These were 17 deputies trained as first responders. And if you don't know what that means, here in the state of Florida and Pinellas County, they are trained to go into the water. Their vehicles are equipped with floating devices. Their seats are used as flotation devices so they can go into the water for these specific kind of cases. And they have gone into the water for similar things, which we'll talk about in a moment. So 17 deputies trained as these first responders allowed for nearly 6 whole minutes, 6 minutes to go by until the car sank. The Sheriff's Department, along with the media, wasted no time preparing lies and cover-ups to control the narrative of this case. Sheriff, we call him Killer Bob, Gaultieri rewarded his deputies on their heroic actions to save the girls, claiming they'd stripped themselves and jumped into the water, desperately trying to save them. Yet their own video footage served to contradict them, showing no deputies in the water even struggling to rescue them. A similar case to that of the girls was that of the murder of 18-year-old African Laboriel Felton in 2002. He was pursued by Deputy Skaggs as well as James Vickers, and Vickers was also on the scene of the girls. Laboriel jumped from his car and fled on foot. Vickers and Skaggs released a K-9 to chase after him. Laboriel then jumped into a pond where the K-9 would follow and Deputy Vickers would enter into. The media, similar to what had been done in the case of the girls, lied and claimed that the 140-pound Felton tried to fight both Deputy Vickers and a K-9 in the water. Deputy Skaggs then removed the seats of his vehicle. This is what I'm talking about. He removed the seats of his vehicle, which served as flotation devices, something he failed to do in the case of the girls to save the damn dog. They then claimed that Laboriel could be seen backstroking through this pond of muck right there, backstroking in the middle of December. However, when Laborio's body was discovered, not only was there grass and dirt lodged within his lungs, but he'd been bludgeoned on the skull so badly that his brain had collapsed. So Laborio was not doing no backstroke through no pond. Deputy Skaggs, Deputy Vickers killed Laborio and left him there to drown and save their dog and wipe their hands clean. And he was not indicted, and it was said to be justified homicide by Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. In light of this case and the slander campaign that was waged, as well as Gualtieri's closing of the investigation, the Uhuru movement held a press conference with the bold statement that what had taken place on the night of March 31st was in fact murder. The movement uncovered all the lies of the Sheriff's Department during this press conference. It was also one of the Uhuru movement's first encounters with the fierce African mother warrior, mother of Dominique Battle, Kundè Mwamvita. Uhuru. Outside of the Clearwater Courthouse, the movement conducted the first of many demonstrations with the demands to fire Bob Gualtieri and charge the deputies involved in this crime for murder. Another demonstration erupted not even a month after an African was shot and killed by another Pinellas County Sheriff's deputy. Alton was shot in the back whilst fleeing from officers. The shooting exposed the glaring need to fight for Black community control of the police. It spoke to the murderous history of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department and the murder of the girls. Kundè, alongside the Uhuru movement, traveled the country from Houston, Texas, to places like Washington, D.C., to tell the story and win national support for the three girls. All of this was work to counter the narrative that had been plastered everywhere and to gain the support of African people everywhere. Many were inspired by Kundè and her story, but not just that. It was also her willingness to fight, to overturn the conditions of a social system that not only killed Lanaya, Dominique, and Ashanti, but all African people. Throughout the month of July, comrades from across the world, Stockholm, Sweden, the Bahamas, Sierra Leone, the UK, and various places around the US came to St. Pete for the Cadre Intensive of the African People's Socialist Party. During this month, comrades hit the streets doing mass outreach and distributing 10,000 flyers on the case of these three girls. At a protest in Tampa, Kundè fiercely spoke about the case and the need for African people to rise up and fight back. However, this message did not fare well with the white leftist organizations present. In fact, they attempted to silence Kundè and take the bullhorn which she was using to speak. They then chanted over her voice and marched to block a highway. No demands, no to what end. However, the Uhuru movement led its own protest that day, leading with the chant, "Black lives won't matter until we get Black power." The Uhuru movement laid out the clear line, the difference between an organization led by the poor and working class African people versus a group that latched itself onto the resistance of African people in Ferguson in 2014 after the murder of Mike Brown, with ties to the Democratic Party funded by white corporations, with no objective to change the social system or even to reform it, but to mislead the oppressed masses to a political wasteland. And that's why impedum is so important. Perhaps one of the most emotional events was the movement's political funeral, an extreme and profound demonstration brought to the steps of Gualtieri's workplace. Comrades marched with coffins in their hands that had the names of the girls on them. Powerful speeches were given by our international comrades, and we conducted a national call-in to the Sheriff's Department. And these are just a couple of images from that demonstration. On August 27th, the Uhuru movement hosted Dominique Battle's Birthday Blitz, an event celebrating 17 years of life for Dominique. It was a community event filled with music, performances, and even a Dominique rap battle, which was hosted by Black Power 96. Comrades and volunteers came together to make bracelets and flower crowns for the birthday party, and her family amongst most really enjoyed this event of laughter, love, and happiness despite the tragedy. On September 17th and 18th, the case of the three drowned Black girls came to Ferguson, Missouri for the 25th annual MPDM convention. Kundè delivered a powerful testimony and won the support of everyone in the room. And from this historic convention, the 3DBG committee was formed. And when I call your name, I just want you to stand, and I just want comrades to give these people a salute. Secretary Casey Mackey in Boston. Oh, sorry, she's getting ready, y'all, but clap for her. Also, she's not here with us. She's been with us for the past 2 days, but she is not here today. LaTanya Gibbons, who is our Treasurer and Economic Development Coordinator. Okay, legal attorney Aaron O'Neill, who is out in Washington, D.C. Our propagandist, Sen Maruyama, Huru. And if you haven't seen propaganda from this, yes, you have. It's all on our buttons. It's on every piece of literature that we have, our T-shirts. She's just an extremely talented comrade. I'm so happy to have her. And this comrade, she won't be with us for much longer, but I really want to express profound appreciation for the African People's Solidarity Committee Chair, Penny Hess. Uhuru. She was supposed to be the writer for the narrative and wound up taking on a bigger role and has been assisting on the campaign really as an advisor for many different areas of work in which she has had obviously many years of experience, and she's just, giving me, just guiding me through this process and really fighting for the 3DBG and lighting the fire under my behind to fight for this campaign. So I really appreciate Penny Hess. Our social media coordinator, she also isn't here, but I know she's online, Janaba Uhuru. And we cannot forget the face, the woman that makes it all happen, Miss Kundè Mwamvita Uhuru. Throughout the month of October, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement conducted their Days in Solidarity with African People U.S. tour, and Kundè was the guest speaker. She won solidarity with the Campaign for Justice for the 3 Drowned Black Girls in several cities, including Huntsville, Alabama, San Diego and Oakland, California, Gainesville, Florida, Boston, Massachusetts, and Seattle, Washington. Before the end of 2016, we were successfully able to write and publish the narrative of the story, and it's available at the MPDUM table for $3, so make sure you guys pick up your copy, and it tells the entire story of this case, other cases related to it like Laborio Felton, Alton Richard, and that this is the situation of colonialism, that this is a colonial conditions that African people face every day, so make sure you pick up your copy. Oops. Oh, copy. On New Year's Day, we started it off with the 3DBG campaign kickoff, a refreshing, invigorating demonstration held here in St. Pete. We had over 30 people marching with us throughout this community and coming back with us to attend the Sunday Resistance Rally, where dynamic presentations from Chairman Kundè and Penny Hess were made. We reestablished the presence of the Campaign for Justice for the 3 Drowned Black Girls and won support and even volunteers who are already being introduced to the work of the committee. And we even exceeded our fundraising goal of $300 that day. Uhuru. Those are just some pictures of that event. Ooh. All right. To follow the powerful demonstration we had, we conducted a national call-in where forces from all over the country called into the Sheriff's Department, the mayor, and the governor's office to demand the immediate resignation of Sheriff Bob Gualtieri and criminal charges against Deputy Howard Skaggs. It was a call-in that had white power shaking in its boots. As can be seen in this video, as Comrade Jesse is on the phone with the Sheriff's Department. Right there.
Sheriff Bob Gualtieri and the indictment of Deputy Howard Skaggs and all of the other deputies that were involved in the brutal drowning and murder of Ashanti Butler, Dominique Battle, and Lanaya Miller earlier this year.
Okay, this is harassment. You're clogging up our switch.
No, it was harassment when those deputies chased down those 3 black girls in the dead of night. That was harassment. So we're putting the Sheriff's Department on notice and Gualtieri on notice that, and I'm a white person, we're putting you on notice to let you know you do not have the total support of the white community in Pinellas County.
That's fine. You are harassing us. We've had numerous phone calls today. This counts as harassment. So we do have your phone number here, and I'm taking note of it. Can I have your name?
You cannot have my name. That's a threat.
Oh, then what's the use of
You're threatening me for exercising freedom of speech? Okay. So, uhuru to everybody else out there that has caused them such frustration and anger with this powerful national call-in campaign. And justice for the 3 drowned black girls, reparations to the families of Lanaya Miller, Ashanti Butler, and Dominique Battle. Uhuru.
Right. So I've been given the time, a little time card thrown at me. So I did want to finish out because that was 2016, but 2017 is the year for the 3BG campaign. And it's going to be well packed with major events, including our event this month, January 25th. We have brought the fight to his job. We have been to his cocktail parties, and now we're going to his hood. Gaultieri can't hide from us. Uhuru.
Uhuru. March 31st, 2016. Another day under capitalism. This superstructure of white power, born from Europe's rape of Africa, built on the dehumanization and enslavement of African people who once enjoyed a brilliant culture, who followed the patterns of the movements of the stars and planetary bodies, who found order in nature, who thrived until history was disrupted by Europe. Poor and diseased, we attacked them, branded them, sold them, raped them, broke them, took away everything they had, and instituted a system of ruthless white terror that continues today. Unprecedented acts of violence drawn out for days, weeks, years by regular white people, white lynch mobs, white armed militias, the military, the police, armed to the teeth like a robot, no spirit, no regard for human life. My people have done this and do this, enjoying the terror we inflict. That's our legacy that we must face. And on March 31st, white thug Howard Skaggs and his gang of cops hunted 3 African girls, chased them in an unmarked car at 95 miles an hour in the dead of night, terrorizing them, corralling them down a one-way road into a graveyard pond, smashing the back of their car into the water. I would be screaming for my life. I can't imagine the terror. This was more than murder. This was long, drawn-out torture. The girls drowned and screamed for their lives, while their killers just watched and played deaf. Mission accomplished. They said they're done, dude. They're effing done. Making it a mockery, making it a game, like the carnivals white people had when we tortured African people. I can't imagine the sheer terror, fleeing for their lives from this menacing hunter, chasing them down at the speed of light. I can't imagine what it's like knowing that you're being murdered, that they don't care, by these thugs who are defended and loved by whites, who kill African people not once, but twice. They kill them in cold blood, then they kill them in the news, dragging them, criminalizing them, telling us why they deserve to die, why their families deserve to suffer, convincing the masses to take the side of their killer. White people always side with the cops against African people, every time. And when they killed Dominique, they called her mom a bad mom, the mom whose name was tattooed on her, the mom who worked day and night to be the best mom to a beautiful girl who loved her family and loved her friends. A mom those pigs surrounded, 15 men with guns saying, "Oh, she's dead," and lied to her. We didn't chase her, we didn't chase them, we didn't chase them, and the other girls, oh, they're dead too. No remorse, cold-blooded, and people still want to take their side. Believe them, that they did everything they could to save them, they did everything they could to murder them. Those who dare to believe they weren't murdered take the stance of the coward. Time after time, police lie. Sheriff Killer Bob Gaultieri hid it in the dark like a coward, said no murder here, and this guy I DJ'd with, DJ Won't Pay Reparations, took this killer's side. Even claimed they were joyriding, happily joined in the slander with white colonial media when it kills the press not once but twice. People ask, why did they chase them? People say they stole a car. I say the police murdered 3 African girls. People are looking for a reason why. The same reason why the same Howard Skaggs hunted an African boy into a pond to drown and saved the police dog and lied about it all. I'll tell you why. The police are doing what they're meant to do. Hunt down and murder Africans. Rip their families apart, brutalize their communities, steal their children's futures, chain them like we chained them 600 years ago, the police against Africans, the U.S. military against the world, with the complicity of the white population, in exchange for our safety and freedom? Safe from what? Who is free? Who is content in this vapid dying system where we feel rushed and miserable and always worried about money? You want the rest of the world to suffer so we can have all this stuff we don't want? More and more people are shooting up and getting wasted to escape this brutal reality. But white people, we have to stop escaping and face it head on. We need to say to ourselves, the police murder African people in my name. The police carry out colonialist terror in my name, rooted in slavery, stealing countless African lives. The blood of those girls and all Africans killed by white powers on our hands. Imagine what the world would still be like if we still had Dominique Battle, Lanaya Miller, Ashanti Butler, Terrence Crutcher, Sandra Bland, and the brave warriors Corinne Gaines, Cosmo, Micah X. Johnson. Don't you want that world? Don't you want to fight for that world? I want to fight for that world. And Kundè says what they did in the night will come out in the light, because African people are fighting to be free. African people have always fought to be free. They will have justice. They will take back their power, their culture, their land, their future, and create a society without oppressors and oppressed. No more teenage African girls drowned. No more Africans gunned down in our name. No more grieving mothers. The line has been drawn in the blood of African people. What side are you on? My white people, get on the forward side. I want you to fight with me. If you are serious about overturning the system of slavery and genocide and getting on the right side of the question, let's talk a Huru solidarity movement. This is the real deal. We do reparations. Reparations is to repair. Reparations to heal the damage we've done. Reparations must be for revolution. Reparations now!
Reparations now!
And I just wanted to thank the African People's Socialist Party so much for creating the African People's Solidarity Committee and a Huru Solidarity movement. After everything my people have done to your people, and you still objectively understand that there's an objective benefit to showing white people our way out of this horrible system. And to all my white friends that I'm gonna send this to that aren't ready to join, I need you to join a Huru Solidarity with me. This is the only organization for white people, because feminism is a dead end. LGBT rights is a dead end. I need people in my life that are willing to help me get free, because Africans are fighting to be free, and they have given us a door so that we can be free too, and we should be banging down that door. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Since March 31st, 2016, I have been fighting strongly and fiercely for justice. For not just Dominique, Lanaya, and Ashanti, but for justice, for equal rights. The right that we have, our freedom. I didn't know it then. I didn't know the fight that I had in me. But when they murdered my babies, they lit an ignition in me. They put a fire under my bottom that made me realize how colonized I was, how colonized my people are. They say you got to go and get an education, but the education they give us is not our education. They don't teach us about the slavery. They don't teach us about how they killed and murdered and raped us. But the Hero movement, they teach us that and so much more. So I'm not asking you to hear my story. I'm not asking you to feel my pain. I'm asking you to join me, to unite with the struggle, unite with the fight, that we must be free. If I, a single mother with 5 children, could quit a job and come work for our people, then you can too. There are so many departments in the Hero movement that you could be a part of. But you sit there because you don't understand. So we must teach and give understanding to each other. We cannot continue to downput each other. The state has done that enough. We must rebuild our knowledge, our understanding, and our fight to govern ourselves, to house ourselves, to clothe ourselves, and to feed ourselves. I'm asking each and every one of y'all to join me. Help me build a one nation, one marketplace next door to the Hero movement. Help me to get our people to understand that they are colonized and that it's the state that we must overturn, this colonial parasitic state. If you really want to see justice done, join the Hero movement, a movement that's been around since I was a little girl, fighting for the liberation and the rights of Africans. Our birthright, our birthplace is Africa. I don't care what they call you. You are an African. And we must love on each other as Africans. So I'm asking you today to join our departments, to join our organization, to be part of a movement that is not only going to save your life, but it's going to make sure that you don't have to be out here asking for handouts. You don't have to go to the state asking them to feed you, because you'll be able to feed yourselves and your fellow man, and tell them to let our prisoners go. They always want to say that we have broken homes and broken families. But y'all are the ones that broke us, because y'all took our men and our women and y'all locked them in themselves. And then y'all want to legalize things like so-called marijuana, these drugs that y'all legalizing. But y'all haven't let all them brothers and sisters that's in prison out behind the same thing. So I'm here to say, let them out now. I'm here to say, I am fighting for them, I'm fighting for you, and I'm fighting for the freedom of Africans everywhere.